Hey everyone, welcome back for another 1/6 scale figure unboxing and review. In this video, we'll be taking a look at Hot Toys 1/6 scale Neo from the Matrix. I'm really excited for this video. The Matrix universe is definitely in my top 10, and Neo is just such a cool character. Now, I did just recently watch The Matrix Resurrections, and I know it got a lot of hate, but I didn't think it was actually that bad. I had pretty low expectations due to all the reviews, but overall, when I finished the movie, I came out thinking, it actually was pretty okay. It definitely wasn't my favorite Matrix, but it didn't even score the lowest on, Rotten Tomatoes. I think the third Matrix had a lower rating, audience score and critic score than the Matrix Resurrections. But without any further delay, let's get into this one. Starting off with the box art, the box design actually has a plastic cover that wraps around it. Now, the cover has a large image of Neo in the center made of this Matrix code, which is pretty cool. And then underneath, you're going to have his name and the logos for Hot Toys and Warner Brothers. Then on the back, you're going to have all of your legal information, trademarks, and the names of the creators who were behind this figure. The sides, top and bottom, just have more wording. And when you slide this cover off, it reveals the box, which also shows more reigning Matrix code. Now there is a flap that can open up, revealing Neo inside the box. And then on the inside of the box, you have Morpheus's famous line reading,
"This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back. You take the blue pill, the story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland, and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes."
and underneath you have the red and blue pill completing the passage. Overall, I really like the box design. It's unique and instantly recognizable. So now let's get Neo out of the box and take a closer look. Here we have Neo out of the box in his clamshell, and there are two layers of accessories. So what I want to do is I want to get all of the items laid out onto the table so we can take a closer look at them. And then after that, we'll dive into the Neo figure itself. Here are all the accessories that are included with Neo, and you can see there's quite a bit of them, most of them being these guns down here. It brings me back to the John Wick unboxing that I did. He also had a lot of weapons. Keanu Reeves just loves picking characters to play that get to explore a multitude of firearms. But I'm going to do what I normally do, and I'm going to grab each item and just go in depth, giving you a closer look at all the details. So starting off with the hands, Hot Toys provided 4 sets of sculpted hands. One pair is already attached to Neo in the box, and that is a set of relaxed hands. The second set is these closed fists. Next, we have a gun holding with the finger on the trigger set of hands, because Neo does not need trigger discipline. And then lastly, we have these outstretched hands that Neo uses when he's using the Matrix Force to stop bullets. I really love the color that they used for the hands. Gives it a really nice lifelike appearance. And it's sculpted really well. Lots of wrinkles, creases, veins. This is a pretty good hand sculpt. I'm pretty impressed. Moving on, a few more items. We have this little tiny bag of what appears to be buttons, but I'm not exactly sure what they go to. So I'm going to have to do a little bit more digging for those. Of course, they added a couple ball joints or wrist joints because there's always a chance that one of them is going to break when you're moving around with the hands. At least that's what I've experienced in the past. Then we have these very reflective black sunglasses. I bet they're going to look really cool on Neo. And of course, later in the video, you'll see them attached to him, but pretty cool. And then lastly, we have this duffel bag. Now there is a Velcro latch right here that just holds the two straps together. Some wheels, that's pretty cool. And a zipper that you can open up. And there's this black foam inside of it. Now I'm assuming you could probably take this out, and if you wanted to, you could throw in some of the different guns and then maybe pose it next to your figure with the guns out of it. Or if you wanted to, you could throw the strap around his shoulder and have him wearing it. But either way, I really like this duffel bag. I think it's a cool addition. Moving on to the different weapons, I decided to grab one from each pair to showcase. We have the Beretta, the Micro Uzi, the MP5K, the Scorpion, and of course the M16. Now, what's really cool is each one of these has a magazine that can be ejected, and they even went ahead and sculpted and painted a bullet at the top of the magazine, which is pretty cool. Also, the MP5K has a charging handle that can be moved back and forth, which you can kind of see right there. So that's pretty cool. Now we have this strap right here, and this actually will attach to the back of the MP5K for both of them. And what you can do is you can string that around Neo's neck and have both of those weapons hanging at his waist. It looks really cool, and you'll definitely see that in a little bit. So lastly, let's talk about the base Hot Toys provided. They provided a nice, large, almost diamond base, but I really love the design that they put on top of it. It has those square tiles, and it really looks like the entrance way for when Neo's walking through that corridor, the elevator scene where he's firing all his weapons. I really think that's an awesome design. They also added a flight or dynamic flight pull, and then you have a waist or leg clamp. So overall, really awesome. I really like this base. It's going to be interesting to see how it's going to fit into my display case. So now that we've taken a look at all the accessories, I'm going to get Neo out here and we'll take a closer look at him. Now let's finally take a closer look at Neo, starting off with the head sculpt. Now this is a really good looking head sculpt. You can definitely see Keanu Reeves' likeness. I'm really impressed, especially because this is a little bit of an older figure. I think they released him in 2018. But overall, I mean that is a spectacular head sculpt. Now for the outfit, you have this nice long black iconic trench coat, and what's really cool is they added a wire all the way from the top to the bottom on the edges of it, so you can do different dynamic posings with it. Now he has a long sleeved black undershirt, and then you can see this harness around him, around his shoulders, waist, and thighs, black pants, and then, of course, his boots that are in the movie, though it's been a while since I've seen the first Matrix, but supposedly these are the boots he wears, and they're super cool looking boots. I really love the design of that. Next, let's take a look at the articulation, starting off with the head. Now, the head is attached or fixed to the neck, but there's still a good amount of movement down, up, side to side, and swivel. For the arms, you have a 90-degree extension, even in the trench coat, which is pretty cool. There is a butterfly joint for the shoulder, a swivel at the upper bicep, and then a double bend at the elbow. And then you have your regular ball joint for the wrist. There is a good amount of ab crunch, some side-to-side movement, and some swivel. Now for the legs, you can also get almost a 90-degree extension, which is pretty good. There is a swivel up the upper thigh, a double bend at the knee on ratchets, and then for the feet, it's a ball joint, but there's a little bit of restriction because the boot is not a split design cut. So you'll have a little restriction there. But overall, this is a very movable figure, which is going to be amazing for the different poses you're going to put him in. So we're getting closer to wrapping up this video, and I'm going to do what I normally do and throw Neo into a bunch of different poses and just give my final thoughts on what I liked and disliked about this figure. And really, there's only one thing that I had an issue with, and it's not even something that you would most likely have an issue with. It's just specifically my Neo that I got. The MP5K on one of them didn't have the little metal attachment to the back, so I'm not able to attach it to the strap that goes around his neck, or at least I'm going to have to find a different way to attach it. But that's the only negative or the only issue I had, and that's only me. I feel like most of you probably wouldn't have that if you bought this figure. Besides that, I mean, it's overwhelmingly positive. There's a ton of accessories. The quality of the head sculpt and outfit is amazing, and there's a crazy amount of articulation. Like, it just checks off every single one of my boxes on my checklist. Like, this is a really, really, really awesome figure, and I'm super glad that I'm going to be able to add this to my collection. Now, I'm definitely going to pose him with the John Wick Keanu Reeves, because that's just going to look sick, and that's going to be a display case full of weapons. But overall, I would 100% recommend getting this figure if you don't have them. It's an awesome one to have in your collection. I got mine through Toys Wonderland. I'm not sponsored or affiliated or anything with them, but that is where I picked mine up. So if you are thinking about it, you can go check it out on their site. Other than that, thank you guys for joining in and watching another 1/6 scale unboxing. I had a lot of fun with this one. I'm going to have more videos coming out in the future, so stay tuned for those. Like always, thank you for watching, stay safe, and I'll see you on the next one.